Alright folks, welcome to another beer review. It's been one of those Mondays, so it's got to be two double IPAs on a Monday. I suppose there's people out there that's regular drinking, I don't know. I'm just in the mood for a couple of beers, to be honest. So just reviewed, well, about an hour or so ago, reviewed that one. Very good. And now we're moving over to Pressure Drop. And we're having a look at Extra Cheese, which is a double IPA, 8.4% ABV. Can I just say that artwork is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love that. So this is from Pressure Drop. I've had Cheese Volume 2. I'm not sure if this is part of like an overarching series that they're doing. But cheese is back. Now with Extra Cheese. It's the dank IPA you've been dreaming of. Tasting notes are dank, dank, dank. Hops are Strata Mosaic. What a combination. And yeah, 8.4% ABV. Yeah, once again, I love that artwork. Reminds me of like what's that? A company that... What's the production company that did the Puppet Master films? Really like cheap, low budget, straight to video stuff. It reminds me of like something from like an 80s film like that. And I tell you what, I was expecting it for some reason to be a hazy boy. So maybe we're going more along the lines of West Coast, maybe? Look at that. I don't know why I made preconceptions this is going to be like a hazy juice bomb. But hey ho, it is what it is. Looking fantastic. Beautiful golden colour, very slight amber hue to it. 1 finger's worth of a white head. Let's see what we get on the nose. Maybe this is a classic case with building this up way too much, because it's not really got like a potent, strong aroma to it. It is very dank. It's got that sort of like savoury, piney sort of thing. Like, you know, the nut out of an avocado. I don't know if it's just my breath, but I've got a bit of cigarette in there. Probably just my breath, I've just had a cig. Yeah. A little bit like sweaty almost. Well, it did say dank, dank, dank for the tasting notes and the dank IPA that you've been dreaming of. Wow. Already just completely... It might as well be a mystery beer at this point. Smells nice though. Not the strongest aroma, has to be said. But what it probably lacks in aroma, it makes up in taste. Or, fingers crossed, it should do. Anyway, let's stop waffling and get tasting. Cheers. Got very, very close with the glass then. This is very interesting. It's got like a big boost of flavour towards the middle to back end. Because as you're drinking it, you're not really getting that much. It has to be said. Like the initial taste, it's very, very subtle. But then it comes up a little bit more towards the end. Gentle bitterness, I'd say. It's very rounded and subtle. I mean, you do get that sort of like piney, sprucey, sort of savoury character. But even that is not too in your face. And for a double IPA, remarkably gentle. And drinking as such. I'm saying this, but it's just a very satisfying drinking experience. Flavours are building up on the back end. It's getting a little bit more savoury, I would say. Again, I'm saying that, but it's sort of like poof, punching you in the face. I mean, it's not making you do that, let's be honest. There's just a very, very strange thing to say, but there's this really satisfying flavour and sensation when you swallow. Oi, oi. Now, Cheese Volume 2 was a very hazy IPA from what I remember. And that's really my only point of reference, which is probably going to work against this beer in terms of it being reviewed. Now everything's in the glass. It's hazed up a little bit. I'd definitely say this is more leaning towards the West Coast side of things, although it's not really sort of like in-your-face West Coast flavours. But I'm not getting like flavours I would usually associate with the likes of Strata and Mosaic. It's almost got like, you know, those classic big three American sea hops. You know, your Centennial, your Citra, your Columbus, that sort of thing. But then again, it's not overtly citrusy. There's maybe like a lime-like sharpness, very subtle. And I think that's the word, key word for this beer. Everything about it is subtle. We'll add another word to that, and rounded, for a very pleasant drinking experience. I mean, I've had danker, bitteschön, German joke. I've had danker IPAs that haven't really like prided themselves or sold themselves as like a dank in your face IPA. That dankness is definitely there. Slightly oily, slightly resiny, slightly like aftertaste of a spliff almost. Yeah, it's just, I can't pick out a flavour note or put into words what I'm getting between the gulp and the swallow. Between the gulp and the swallow, what a name for a really shit self-congratulating beer book that'd be, which is, let's be honest, 90% of books from beer writers are self-congratulatory. Anyway, there are good beer writers out there. I think the key to being a good beer writer, like it is with food writing and stuff like that, is when someone puts their own personality. Like, I want to hear a story that goes along with the beer, and not just like this beer was first conceived in such a blah 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 blah, based on a recipe by blah 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 blah. That's interesting, especially if you're Rampant Lion beer reviews. But like, I like it when like food writers, film critics, these very like specific sorts of fields when they talk about like the weird encounter they had whilst waiting for their food, or like an altercation that they had on the tube as they were going to a fancy restaurant in London. Do you know what I mean? Don't know what point I was trying to make. Early onset dementia. Very sorry about that. But yeah. It doesn't sound like it from my review, listening to myself as I'm talking. But this is a really good, enjoyable beer. It's like, I feel like it's unintentionally understated. Because you see artwork with like that, and respect for using, is it Cooper MS? A very retro sort of font. Like the label looks great. It's good graphic design, but it's got like an almost cheap shit aesthetic with Microsoft Word-esque word art. And I'm here for it. Photo, I don't know if that's a stock photo. I don't know if that's just something that's created. I don't know if that's supposed to be someone. Not very impressed with the look of the pizza on the label. But yeah, you look at artwork like that, and then the little write-up on the back, which is genius marketing. And you think, wow, it's going to be like, boom. Do you know what I mean? But it's not. It's just a very well-brewed, rounded. There's a dank aftertaste, the more I'm talking, and like the fumes of alcohol are emanating from my mouth and lingering on my breath. But it's very much not what I was expecting it to be. And I definitely do think it's going for that sort of like slightly West Coast. It doesn't really hit it in terms of being a West Coast style. I don't know what, you know, the story is behind this. Whether like the cheese series is not just hazy IPAs, but it's like an all-encompassing sort of series. And I think this is one of those beers that people are gonna unfairly say is boring. But to me, I'd happily have another can of this. I really, really would. Pick this up from Behemoth. I did actually want to buy a Cafe Behemoth glass, but the girl behind the bar said they just keep getting stolen and all they had was cloud water glasses. And I love this style of glass. And there's something really satisfying about Cloudwater's logo on some glassware. And I do like Pressure Drops merchandise as well. And I like Pressure Drop as a brewery. So even though this is nowhere near what I was expecting it to be, packaged on the 12th of September, we're now on the 23rd of October. Like, there's a part of me that's probably unfairly saying, is this what the beer should be like? But when a beer's not what it's supposed to be like, 9 times out of 10, it tastes like what the beer's not supposed to be like. And I think this is intentional. I don't know. I really, really like it. It's one of those IPAs that's flavoursome, yet subtle and rounded enough that you just want to keep drinking it. I mean, unfair comparison because they're two different types of IPA. But, you know, this was like in-your-face, hazy juice bomb. Where it was maybe getting a little bit rich. Price tag also worked against that compared to this. But this isn't a comparison video, I'm just trying to put it into context. But yeah, extra cheese, double IPA, 8.4% ABV. Very, very interesting. It's a very, very interesting beer. Tasty, but part of me was maybe expecting a little bit more. But then again, that's my own preconceptions. Probably too used to having juice bomb after juice bomb after juice bomb after juice bomb. But yeah. But it doesn't really taste Strata or Mosaic-y. I don't know. Maybe that's my uneducated, ignorant palate speaking. It probably is. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend that. Very reasonably priced from what I remember as well. I think I paid, I've still got this sticky label here. £6.85. I don't think that's too bad in the grand scheme of things. Maybe a couple of quid less and it'd be, chef's kiss, but that's the tight arse. I do have a very tight arse. I keep that shit in check. Got wonderful legs as well. Anyway, I need to really stop making comments like that because I don't think there's any females who watch this beer review channel. Do you know what I mean? Looking at my demographic, very, very small female viewership. So when I make comments like that, I'm basically doing it to a room full of, not to sound like I'm having a dig, but again, when you look at your statistics and your stats on your videos, said the same thing twice, then statistics and stats. It is basically middle-aged men who watch this channel. So shouldn't really make comments like that. But no. And I think maybe it'd work well with pizza. I'm not sure. I don't really get the cheese aspect of it. Maybe if it's a little bit more pungent with its dankness and that savoury sort of edge, it might fit in well. But I'm not going to complain. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. Check this beer out if you haven't done so already. Pressure Drop, another fantastic brewery. I haven't had too much from Pressure Drop recently, so that needs to be rectified. But yeah, if you've tried this, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Link in the description to the Untappd, which will probably give you a bit of a better description of the beer, as well as Untappd Pressure Drop's website and stuff. I'll have to look into doing an order from Pressure Drop. I want some Pressure Drop merch. I think the t-shirts are smart because they've got the Pressure Drop logo there. But yeah, it is what it is. Lovely little beer, but just not what I was expecting. I think that's the lesson on this beer review. You shouldn't really put your preconceptions out there. But I'm not disappointed. I've not been let down by it. Anyway, if you tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. It's getting a little bit dry now. And yeah, check out Pressure Drop. Fantastic brewery. See you guys later. You all take care. And how do I end now? Just end it all, Peter, because you're fucking stupid.